Hello, lovelies, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. Finally, I decided that, I think I should jump in the hot tub and do this again. Because you know what? Somebody just told me the other day, Kat, you seem to be different these days. Like, you no longer like uh, get in your girly self and get in your hot tub and start, talking about man relationship in the full moon in your miss that cat, she said. And I said, I haven't changed, sweetheart. I'm just adjusting to the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? So I am right now on 3 platforms, which is my page, my fan page, my wall, as well as on YouTube. So to you ladies, wherever you are in the world at the moment, I want to say hello. How are you? How have you been doing this crazy time? I hope, um, you know what? I wouldn't lie to you, ladies. Even for me, it's been so hard, right? Sometimes even Joe sort of says, "Please don't be so like so affected by it. Don't be so depressed. Don't be so upset." And she said, "If someone like you gets so invested and so upset, what hope is there for the rest of us?" So Ben says that. I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help it." You know, I mean, deep down, I know that the war has been won, and we're just watching a movie, right? Do you know any of that, ladies? Yes, the war has been won. We are just watching a movie right now. And what is the purpose of this movie? The purpose of this movie is to wake the sheep who are still fast asleep. I know every day we're waking people up, but there is still a bunch of fast asleep sheep who just refuse to see reality, who just refuse to entertain possibilities that whatever it is that assumed to be the absolute truth about the world, about our leaders, about politics, about everything could have been just a big fat lie, could have been just largely fabricated and engineered. There is still a big segment of population, especially on the left, who just refuse to entertain that possibility. And this is why we are seeing what we are seeing right now. We see rioting everywhere. We see this craziness everywhere. We see this sort of uh, potential mandatory vaccine, right? And all these sort of like lockdowns that still continue, and the masks and everything. And even though I'm wide awake, I'm still affected by it. I'm still feeling very emotional about it because it does sort of like it's scary. I mean, it's a movie, but it is a scary movie. Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies? So, yeah, it's been really, really hard, even on me. It's very, very hard. And I can only imagine how hard it is for most of you who have, for example, 3 kids under 5 and who are cooped up with you in a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, like 24/7. Oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna cope. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations for your resilience. I hope we all are going to make it in one piece because everything will end on November the 4th, right? And pretty much we already know the result. And thank God that we already know the result and it's already in the bag. But we cannot slack. We still have to put pressure on people to start wanting to open their eyes, to start wanting to research, to start wanting to look the other way, not just perusing that fake news from the mainstream media. Okay, I no longer watch or read the news on the mainstream media because I know it's all fake. The news that has been broadcast to us in our lifetime is just a project of disinformation to brainwash us, to make us believe in whatever it is this cabal wants us to believe. Because when we believe their narratives, we are very easy to control, ladies. Right? Remember, these Satanists, they they create problems. Okay? They follow this method: problem, reaction, and solution. They have done it since the beginning of time, right? So they provide you with like mind-numbing entertainment, sports, news, everything to distract you. You realize that? So what's the purpose of this entertainment? So you basically become docile because you're just like so transfixed on your TV screen, and whatever they want you to believe in, to think about, to entertain, they uh, implant it in your head. And of course, we don't realize this, right? It has been done since the beginning of time. In the ancient Roman time, for example, ladies, you know what they do? They have gladiators. What do you think gladiator is? Gladiator is like basically the Super Bowl, right? The baseball season, the basketball, hockey, football, whatever it is, any kind of sport you can think of. That's what that is the modern gladiators that the ancient Romans entertain themselves and entertain their subjects. I mean, the elite, they have to do something to keep the masses entertained, docile, and distracted, and hopefully happy. Because when they are distracted and entertained and happy, not really happy, but they love seeing the sitcoms and it makes them laugh, then they won't revolt, right? They won't have uh, a chance to start imagining things, to start researching like what we are doing right now, or some of us at least, right? To want to know what's going on behind the curtains, what's going on with these leaders. Are they really the type of people that we think they are? Or are they doing the very things that the news is saying they're doing, right? So people are not interested in that because they are so uh, captivated, they're so engrossed, they're so entertained by whatever it is going on in the tube. Right? That's why it's called television, but it's not television. Television. So, you wanna be cute for your life from your lifetime brainwash? Start shutting the news, shutting the TV all together. Start look around you. Be more alert. Okay, many of you are so desensitized up here, so you are as sharp and as alert as a wet napkin. You understand? Yes, most of you are. Many, not most probably these days. Many of you are, unfortunately. And I don't have a problem calling you out on that stupidity. right? Because in normal time, being stupid doesn't kill you, but this time is different. We only had one shot, just one shot to do this right. It's now or never. And it's not an hyperbole, meaning it's really that significant, that important this election is, because our future, our life and death depend on it. You get it? Okay. That is an introduction from me, ladies. But before I go on, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with in the headquarters. Currently, today, I showed up for my 106 satsang in the fan subscriptions. And on Saturday, Coach Dacia will show up at 5:30 p.m. She's going to talk about following your passions and the path to your bliss. If you love Dacia, if you love Coach Dacia, you don't want to miss this class. So many of you are in and out of the fan subscription. It's time to re-sign up. Please re-sign up and stay for 3 months. Because after 3 months, you can claim your bonus class valued at 107. And the program itself, the fan subscription, is very affordable, ladies. It's only $99 a month. And you can get in and out as you wish. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. But as I say, it really helps because it's like the cheapest therapy. And it works as well, unlike traditional therapy. So $99 a month, what do you get? Or you will get access to the library. The library currently has 106 classes or satsangs that amounts to over 122 hours. 122 hours. You can imagine if you just listen to me, on marathon, meaning you listen to me a few hours a day, a few classes a day, how much more peaceful you become in just a week, for example, or a few days. And how much more emotionally intelligent you will be in just a few days, in just a few weeks. And how much more adept you are in welcoming the challenges and hardship of life, either in your relationship or in your business, career, job, just in life in general, or even as a parent or as a child, right? Don't you want to improve your relationship with your parents, with your husband, with your children, with your colleagues, with your boss, right? So it's a great place for you to process. And I also, I'm not saying I, because it's actually my trained coach, and we'll start her brand new program on September the 19th. It's titled the Define Feminine EQ course, and it's very affordable as well. You might want to consider to sign up for it. Okay, so it will be 8 weeks, and it comes with some bonuses as well. You can inquire later, and I will post the link after the class on the OP original post. That's OP. All right, ladies. So what else is new? My Ireland retreat. My goodness, this retreat is just, I don't know. We have delayed it like at least twice, right? We have postponed it twice. And the situation in Ireland is, the last time I talked to Castle Leslie, that they required 14-day of self-isolation upon entry in Ireland. So naturally, none of us has the luxury of 14-day not doing anything, being cooped up in a hotel room, right? It's expensive and it just doesn't make sense either. So I haven't heard any update from them. They promised me at the end of August they will know. So if it doesn't change, then we have to postpone it to April. So I will let you know. And by the way, talking about this COVID thing, have you heard what's going on? The CDC tells you that actually the actual death is just 6% of what is reported. I always knew from day one this pandemic is a scam. I always knew that. There is no doubt in my mind it's a scam, right? And some of you got really mad at me when I said that. And I said the virus might be real, but the pandemic certainly is not. It's so unnecessary. Flu virus is way more contagious than this thing. And it's just probably equally as deadly as well. And do you know what happened during Obama with the H1N1 pandemic? Yeah, there is no hysteria, there is no lockdown, no nothing. The same week our death was reported in the media in the number of like 39. At that time, H1N1 was already recorded its toll at 16 something thousand people dead. Nobody saying anything. No lockdown, no mask required. So the real virus is the live virus from the news, from TV. Do you think you would notice any difference at all if there is no news, constant fear-mongering from the left, from the liberal media 24/7 about coronavirus? I can assure you, none of you would know there is something called COVID or a pandemic. This is how demonic these people are. They're dying. You understand why they're doing what they're doing? And do you see what's happening in Australia as well? They start arresting people for speaking up, for organizing rally against the lockdown and mass enforcement. A pregnant woman, either today or yesterday, was arrested because she posted some benign announcement on Facebook about lockdown protests. Can you imagine that? This is the kind of story that is unfolding in front of us to wake us up. Okay? Because this is what is coming if the Democratic Party wins election. They won't win. They won't win. But I'm telling you, that was what was in the agenda, in the plan, to subjugate us, to make us like cattle, pretty much, right? Take away our rights, take away our freedom and liberty, basically, right? To become puppets, sort of like almost like robots with no mind of our own. It's basically what communism is. If you live in China, this is a normal thing. This is the kind of new normal they want us to have. The other day, as you know, when I was reading something online, there is this ad of masks, and they make the mask so sexy. It's almost like a thong, sort of embroidered, lacy mask. Do you understand? They're trying to tell us this is the new normal. You soon are going to model this sort of very skimpy mask that is so sexy. It's almost like your underwear, your panties. And I'm so disgusted by it. So disgusted by it. I'm sorry. We're not gonna, I don't want any mask. It's just like basically telling you to wear almost like a burqa or something, right? It's the same principle. No, thank you. All right, let's see. Oh no, I forgot to get the remote control for my fake candles. So let me call Joey. Oh my goodness. I'll text him. So ladies, if you have any questions, you can ask. Let's just hang out and have fun. Let me text Joey. I just texted. I just texted you. Can you check your text, please? Can you help me with a remote, a remote control for this? That's in a table, on the table. Yes, thank you, baby. Yeah, just I need it now. Hopefully, ladies, the moon. I think the moon will show up tonight. And do you understand why I haven't done full moon classes the last few months? The last time I did, I think it was in February, because it has always been very cloudy, and the last few full moons, we didn't see them at all. Right. Thank you, darling. Thank you. All right. My God. Okay, ladies, ask me a question. Right? Let me check. Look at Joey. He is trying to get Freckles. Freckles down there, you know, right? During full moon, you know, these animals, they all come out, and Freckles just loves to hunt. So every full moon, he is restless every night. Okay. So let me see if anybody asking. Hi, Lonetta. Hi, Mio. Love you too, babe. Hi, Anne. Hi, Skeeter. Hi, Connie. How long time no see. Hi, Maria. It's 5:35 a.m. in Greece, but luckily I couldn't sleep tonight and caught you live. Thank you. Preach it, girl, Cynthia says. Thank you, sweetheart. Let's see what's happening on YouTube here. Oh, there are two people on YouTube. Say hello, please. Identify yourself. Let's see on. Hi, Misty. So, Misty, we can never slack on making sure that the truth is spoken, even after November the 4th. The corruption runs far too deep into far off reaches, and those children need us now more than ever. Absolutely, I totally agree. Too many have left this world already. Both children and those out there are trying to save them. Ladies, do you see that recently there have been a lot of uh, buzz in the news uh, against trafficking, right? By the way, ladies, please forward this broadcast to the groups, and if you're there, to both groups or three groups, it will help very much. Thank you. So the sex child trafficking. Some of you ask me these questions. You so gullible. So where do you think these kids are now? If Trump really saved them, where are they? There are like hundreds of thousands of them. Where are they? Oh my goodness. This is a sign that you are just not interested in researching and knowing what's going on, right? Let me tell you, these children, there were A lot of them were kidnapped, right? There are like 800,000 children missing in the USA alone. And every year, and 8 million children worldwide every year go missing. Where are these children kept? These children are kept in the something that is called dumps. Dumps is deep underground military bases all over the world. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we have underground civilization for probably already hundreds of years and we don't know anything about it? Who built this underground military bases? Obviously, the deep state, the cabal, these world governments, use our tax dollars, use our wealth, our money to build these dams all over the world. It is all over the world and it is extremely deep down there. Some of these people who were kept down there has been there for like 3 or 4 generations. Think about it. So you were taken or born or bred for the purpose of slavery, right? And then you become a mother, then you become parents, and you become grandparents, you become great grandparents. Do you understand? And these people in their lives, they have never seen a light, a day of light. Is it a day of or a light of day? They have never seen the light of day. Do you understand what that means? Can you imagine living in a cave for, say, just, let alone all your life? Let's just say you are 3 months being locked in a cave where you cannot see any sunlight because it's black. Do you think you can get out after 120 days or after 3 months being locked in a cave? And not, for example, suffering because you cannot see the light, you cannot see the sunlight, right? Because your eyes will need time to adjust to sunlight again. Not only that, if you are especially like a white person, right? You don't have so much melanin in your skin, or you are not so well pigmented, right? When you get out of the cave into the sun, you will get burned so very easily. Now imagine, if you live all lives underground, you never know day and night. You never see the moon, you never see the sun. You don't know what daylight looks like or moonlight looks like. You never know what full moon is. It's just, you get the idea. Have you ever been to like a mine, underground mine? That's exactly like that. Okay. So what happened when children are brought to the surface? This is what I read and I heard. A lot of them either instantly die because they cannot cope with the new environment, because their body didn't produce this sort of uh, natural things to really cope with the sunlight, cope with the sunburn, right? And a lot of them, because they've been kept in such condition, not just that, they are also like, most of them are malnourished and very badly treated. They are tortured, right? And a lot of them are also slaughtered for their blood organs, because the cabal, these people eat human flesh. Yes, it's the truth, honey. I know it's crazy, but it's true. It's true. The cabal eat human flesh. They love baby's meat. They love them. They love them. Okay. So, a lot of them are in a very disturbing conditions. They don't have the immune system. They don't have the capacity to survive naturally without any adjustment, without any help. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of them were also genetically engineered. Yeah, the Satanists are so fucked in the head. Do you think they wouldn't mixing human genes with animals? Do you see the Podesta art? Do you know Podesta? Like John Podesta and Tony Podesta? They are brothers who are up high in the Democratic Party, right? John Podesta actually was the campaign manager for Hillary Clinton. And mind you, I was a Hillary Clinton supporter. I love that woman. Little did I know she's a witch, right? So the Podesta brothers, they have this like disgusting, like monstrous art all over their homes, like this sort of hybrid between animals and humans. And then these creatures, these basically monstrous creatures, are depicted to scare children or kidnap children. This is not just art. This is art imitating life, right? It's because this is what is actually happening behind our back. They breed these new creatures, the hybrid between humans and probably lizards or some other animals. So they become these so grotesque creatures. A lot of these children or these people who are kept underground are the results of genetic engineering. Yeah, let that sink in. Let that sink in. So they have weird nose, weird ears, weird hands. You know, in the old days when you read things like this, you would just dismiss it. This is so full of shit. There's no way it's going to be true. Correct? I keep looking if the moon is here. So there's no way that this is actually the truth. But it is. Sadly, it is. Sadly, they have been telling us all these things for a very long time. But because it's so outrageous, nobody really buys it. No, nobody really believes it. Right? So this is what we're dealing with. So if you see, for example, in New York, in the Central Park, there are these tents, right? Oh, originally, we thought the tents were for COVID patients because we were told, oh, you know what? We're going to need additional space for this flood of infected people. No, no. You know what happened under Central Park? There is also a dam, a deep underground military base under Central Park. I think around March, when the lockdown started, the Trump team saved, I don't know how many children, but thousands of children from the underground. And they put these kids, these children and humans, in the tents for further treatments. Probably not right away, because as I said, they will need adjustments, right? They cannot just go all of a sudden go up onto the surface after being kept underground for as long as they live, because their organs, so I read, will burst. They will literally burst. They blow. The organs will blow. So these people will probably explode the minute they see sunlight. That is how bad it is. So it has to be gradual. And the nurses, these nurses are not helping COVID patients, they're helping children who are being extracted, being saved from the underground tunnel. And you can only imagine how heart-wrenching it is for all these paramedics, for these nurses and doctors. Can you imagine how harrowing, how traumatizing the experience is? No full moon yet. Sorry. Let me here have my wine. Do you have your coffee or wine? Let's just hang out. Okay. And you know, these people, so we have tons of people who directly deal with these victims of extreme human right violations. This is crime against humanity. And we are celebrating because it's the end of the road for them, honey. It's not gonna be like that anymore. We are a generation that has ended human trafficking. So celebrate, salute, chin chin to be alive in this very probably most important time in history that we are ushering into the new era, as I always say, the golden the golden age. Next year, it will be first year of the golden age, and it's going to be 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. And you wonder why 1,000 years? Why not 2,000? Well, because the nature of life is what? Cyclical, right? We have been uh, in this corruption for so long, right? Maybe 1,000 years. We were being deceived, being lied to, being enslaved, being abused for probably 1,000 years. So usually what happened was then there will be a recovery time in which peace and prosperity will prevail before corruption begins to take roots again, because that is just the effect of life, duality, right? Like uh, the it's like the pendulum swinging, right? First it will go, maybe at first we are on the far right, so extreme, so far right that it creates a backlash, and then it will swing violently eventually to the left. Right now, we are in the time in which the radical leftists are just trying to basically subjugate us. They're telling us what to do, how to think, what to say. And if they think that we are not good enough up to their moral standard, but the truth is, these people are deeply immoral. But because they are so twisted, they're so demonic, they think they're so moral. They appear very moral. But these people are bipolar. Remember that. They are crazy. Right? So we are in the precipice of extreme leftism. And of course, anything that is extreme will create a backlash eventually. So extreme right, swing to extreme left, and then it will go like this, swinging left and right, which with every cycle less extreme than the previous ones, but it's still going to be swinging until probably one day, I don't know, in a 1,000 years, maybe in 500 years, we'll settle there in the middle, meaning probably there will be uh, balance, right? Middle is balance, meaning it's balance. But as things are cyclical in life, sooner or later there will be a generation of very corrupt individuals who will start changing things around again, start deceiving us again, start uh, victimizing and abusing us again. Do you understand? Wow. Moon, where are you? All right. Anne said, my husband knew about the underground cities even before you mentioned it. Awesome. I guess it is kind of like, uh, some people know these things, though even though they're not being broadcast in the media. And you wonder, why is Trump just not making everything clear and drop everything all at once so we can all wake up? No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, you cannot just all of a sudden announce, in 1 hour. So these things are happening. All your leaders that you elected, they actually have sex with newborn babies and torture them and kill them and then drink their blood. Can you imagine what will happen? And then also tell, oh, these children were kept underground. They were bred like cattle. That's what human farm is, right? And then they're bred for their sex, for to become sex slaves. They're also bred for their organs, their blood, and their flesh. Just like when you farm animals. You eat cows, right? You eat beef. Yeah, basically it's a human beef. So can you imagine how many of you will go crazy, insane in just one day upon hearing that? Do you think people will just all of a sudden believe, all right, the president just says, there are human farm down there underground and Queen Elizabeth has been eating these children and and stock their flesh or their meat in her huge refrigerator in the Windsor Castle, because you heard the rumors from people who have worked for Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle that there is a huge like refrigerator like to stock human meats, right? That's the gossip, but likelihood is probably true. Again, if I say these things, oh my God, how can you say those things about my queen? Exactly why it's not just being dropped all at once, because it will make so many people angry. Like a lot of people are angry with me because they don't want to hear the truth. They think I'm psycho. So, but you know what? I won't apologize for it. I'll say it because it's the fact, it's reality. I don't care about politics. It's nothing to do with politics. It's a human right issue. It is the universal battle between good and evil. So I'm not a political person. I really don't care. If right now Freckles Olivia runs for president against Joe Biden, I would vote for Freckles Olivia. That is how important it is not to vote for Democrats. All right. So it's not about Trump. Even though I really appreciate him, I'm very grateful that he would take uh, this mission. Right? He didn't have to. He had a great life, a great family. He could just retire in peace. He made tons of money. He's a billionaire. He didn't have to do this. But he did take the challenge. He did take the offer. He makes it his mission to save humanity. I'm deeply grateful for that man because nobody else would do that. And nobody else could do that because only insiders could take down the cabal. Do you understand? So, yes, he was one of them. He had to. He is a Freemason. Freemasonry, the secret society member. You have to, because he is probably born in the family. It's a bloodline cult. You think you can just sign up to become I heard you can, but I think in reality, it's really just restricted to bloodline family. So these people, the cabal, including Donald Trump, right? There are really one big happy family, or maybe right now not so happy, because uh, a faction of it, led by Donald Trump, actually revolt against the rest of the family. Right? It's basically the it's the fight between the white hats and the black hats of the same exact family. Okay, so yeah, I am. Nobody else would do it and could do it but Donald Trump, and I'm so deeply grateful that he would. And so far, he has been showing real, true masculine leadership. I've never seen with any other president in the history of mankind. No other president compared. You can mention any name. No other president compared. And I mean it. But let's say, knowing what I know now, it's not him who runs, but Freckles, Olivia who runs. I will vote for Freckles as well. At least I know Freckles is not part of the cabal. At least I know Freckles won't enslave us. You understand what I'm saying? Everything else is really like secondary. Oh, babe, where is the moon? Unbelievable. The moon doesn't really like me. So let's see if you guys have any question somewhere. Uh, from Deborah, I watched the replay. This is nonstop. Stopping on me. Oh, you mean it's stopping on you? Why is that? All right. Let's see. Hi, Monica. So good to see you and hear you, Kat. Yes, so good to see you too. And this is Liza. He did need to prop his false self. What? So I don't understand what you're trying to say. To prop his false self. Um, and you say you have to be invited in. Yeah, to be a member of Illuminati, either you were born into the cult. If you were born into the cult, you will have the first priority to become, for example, politician, to become a celebrity, to become a singer, a dancer, whatever it is, an author, a motivational speaker, uh, or an actress, right? So you are given the first priority as the bloodline members of the family. Some probably are invited because they are super talented, right? But you cannot apply for it. You have to be picked, and they have to feel you first that you are the sort of person who will sell your soul for fame and wealth, right? So if you're that type of person, yeah, they will gladly take you in, and they will initiate you. How do they initiate you? They will test you. Initiation is basically testing. Kill or rape these children on this kid on tape, this child on tape, and kill him or her afterward and drink his or her blood. That is the initiation ritual. It is on tapes. This is why a lot of these people, once they are in, they can never get out. They can never get out. So, and everyone who's trying to get out, they have to pay with their lives. There is no safe exit out of this family. No safe exit whatsoever. Once you're in forever. You are the puppet. You are the slave. Hmm, moon. Still no moon. Anyway, let's see. So, hi, Hania. How are you? Please ask questions, ladies, if you have any. And uh, from on my last class on July, um, that I would talk about Nasara and Jasara. I'm still researching it. So yeah, when the mood strikes again, I'll talk about it because it's really great news for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. It's really great news. As I said, it will be 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, right? Because the system has been so rigged. And it's not just for certain colors, it's just for all of us from any color. We are the peasants, we are the 99%, right? We have no blood relations to these people. So we're not the elite. So because we're not the elite, we are not prioritized to become celebrities, to become successful, to be given this uh, whatever it is on a silver plate, right? If you're a businessman, probably you wouldn't get as rich as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or Jeff Bezos. Yeah, those those seats are specially reserved for bloodline families. Some people probably independently become wealthy and successful and famous, right? You might or might not be approached, but it's not the same for everyone else who just has to fight tooth and nail to even have a chance to enter the game because the system is that rigged. So, with the end of the cabal, with the end of the satanic deep state, we're going to start a new era in which merit and virtues are so put on a pedestal. So if you have talents and of any kind, if you have authenticity, if you have virtues or merit, you can be rest assured it will be so much easier next year and the years after to gain greatness in life because everything will be simplified and made accessible, made easy for all of us. Number one, for example, there will be no income taxes because taxation is basically like theft, right? And your debts will be forgiven. No more, if you have credit card debt, student loans, mortgage, they all will be forgiven. Actually, some people have already found out, you know, that their debts has been erased. So I don't know, maybe some of you here, if you after this class check if still have your mortgage or car loan, student loan. Some already reported that it has been eliminated, has been erased. And free energy too. Free energy, yes. This is not the time anymore. Actually, we have to pay for power, for electricity. It's supposed to be free. And maybe free gas as well for our cars, right? And not only that, they have found cures for cancer and 70 others deadly diseases. And not only that, we also have had in possession this medical technology. Apparently has been there for forever. It's called the med beds. So basically what the med beds do is when you sleep on it, it will learn your body rhythm and it can recreate and regenerate any parts or any organs in your bodies that are not functioning properly. Can you imagine it? So it's like a therapeutic bed. It can either heal you while sleeping in it, or it will regenerate a blueprint of your organs. So one day you can replace your broken or diseased or dysfunctional organs. Think about it. So in the years to come, it's not going to be an anomaly that we live over 100 years. And you understand why these deep state leaders, they live well into their 90s and hundreds, right? Because of probably this technology that we don't know of, then that is being kept from us. Why do they keep it from us? Because they don't care about us. They don't want us to live happily ever after for 150 years or 100 years. They want us to die, probably the sooner the better, because their agenda is to keep our human population to at 500 millions. Right now, we're already at 8 billion. So the sooner you die, the better. So why do we need to provide you with medical help? Hmm? So if you have cancer, yeah, use this chemotherapy, and you will die not out of the cancer, but out of the destruction of chemotherapy. You understand? Apparently, the cure for cancer will cure you in basically just a few hours. That's how advanced the technology is, and it's being kept from us. And again, if this is just being announced all at once, can you imagine the anguish that a lot of us, or most of us will go through? Wow! If only they had released this, my my mom would have still been here. My dad would still have been here. My baby, my child would still have been here. Can you imagine the anger and the anguish on top of everything else they learned, that the leaders also have sex with babies and torture them and drink their blood? So it's not possible just to announce it like that. This is why people like me and you are talking incessantly about this. And we're getting more and more impatient by the day. Let's face it, we are running out of patience. Every day have to see, you know cities being burned to the ground, shops being looted, police being abused, some people being murdered and killed, owners are being arrested for opening their shops. Even though we know it's just a movie, of course we're gonna be so invested emotionally in this, right? ah it's 8:09. Yesterday at 7:40, the moons already showed up. So this thing cannot be trusted. Anyway, I'll wait until my battery probably goes down to 15%, then I call it quits. Again, a botch full moon therapy night. All right. Any question, ladies? You can ask me anything. Curious of your thoughts of your men having sleepovers at their friends' houses or on dating sites. Just ignore it, or what? Depend what do you mean by your man. A lot of women claim a guy who is reluctant as their man. Well, if he's still on the dating site and he hasn't claimed you, even though you probably sleep with each other all the time, then maybe because he is not there yet, he doesn't think you are his girlfriend. That is why. So if a man want to have sleep over at their friends' houses, why do I care? There, if you don't live together, right? You are basically, I don't know. You are in a situationship. They're they're still on dating sites. They want to sleep at their friends' houses. Don't try to control your guy, your man. He's not a child, all right? He's a grown man. He knows what to do with himself. Let him be a man. Stop murdering him. What's wrong with you? I mean, not. I'm not saying that what's wrong with you in a hostile way, Connie. I'm saying, he's not your child. Let him do whatever he wants to do. And you say we live together and have been together almost 4 years. Then you can say something. How come you're still on a dating site? Huh? Do you want me to be on a dating site as well? Like, did you ask? Or if you're living together and he wants to sleep overs for one night, if the reason is good, right? Why not? It's good to have a break once in a while from your partner too. All right. So this is Caroline. Please tell me Beyonce and Mariah Carey did not sell their soul to for fame. They always say Beyonce and Jay-Z is Illuminati. Caroline, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, they all are. Probably, as I said, Han, they didn't really have a choice in a way. This is why I always say have some compassion because these people were born into the cult. I believe Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Jay-Z, they were born into the cult. This is like one big happy family from all over the world. It's an international family of all colors and ethnicity and nationalities. Yes, so unfortunately, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Jay-Z are so part of it. If Donald Trump was and is part of it, obviously Beyonce and the rest of them will also be. And there are so many shocking things you will learn along the way too, Caroline. And this is why also it's very scary. It's very depressing. It's very mind-boggling what's going on behind our back for so long, for hundreds and thousands of years. Right? For example, Beyonce and Mariah Carey most likely were born male. They were castrated as babies. I'm not sure if every one of them was castrated. Some of them were. And this is why they have like very high pitch voice. So if you have a chance, research on YouTube, castrato or castrati. Basically, castrato is opera singers who were castrated before puberty to maintain their high pitched voices. But it was by choice because probably these kids, they were extremely talented, right? And they realized when they hit 11 or 12 or 13, hit puberty, they will lose their voice. Their voice will break, right? So to avoid that, they were castrated, say, at 9 years old, so they can maintain that high pitched voice. So listen to these singers on YouTube. Their their voice like extremely like high pitch, and they're like men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they have a voice of an angelic little boy, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And to maintain that voice, they have to lose their basically manhood. And what happened when you are castrated as well? The side effect of being castrated is longer limbs. So you see all these supermodels, right? These movie stars, these women, they are extremely gorgeous. And believe me, for years I wish I had the body, the anatomy like these women, like these supermodels, these movie stars. They have very broad shoulders, right? Very square jaw, and very long limbs. Look, for example, Angelina Jolie. Look at how long, how like unusually and weirdly. Wow, that is that is the moon there. It shows up. Oh my God, it's already there. Thank God. So let me go back to Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie is gorgeous. Let's face it. She's got this sort of very exotic looks. But let's face it. No, face it. No, no. You have never seen real women look like that, right? With very square jaw, broad shoulders, very tall, very skinny, very long limbs, long arms, like extremely long arms, almost reaching to her knees. That is the result of castration. Long legs and long arms. So it's almost like uh, ET like UFO, like alien like long. And you see the same thing with the supermodels. For example, Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is freaking gorgeous. She's so exotic. But if you see her anatomy, that is not a female anatomy. Have you ever seen a woman with body shape like hers, extremely long arm as well, like Angelina Jolie, right? And very muscular, very lean bodies, very square, broad shoulders, and all these supermodels. None of them was born female, and it's the truth. It's the whole truth. The first time I heard all of this, like everything else, I dismiss it. I needed to listen to hear it at least 5 times to start wanting to know. It's the same with Pizzagate. The first time you heard about Pizzagate pedophile, you ignored. You ignored. I ignored it for so many months, right? If it wasn't because of the pandemic, I would never have known. I would never have wanted to research about this pedophile thing. I would just say, oh, it's bullshit, you know? So I have to hear it at least, I don't know how many times with Pizzagate, maybe 10 times, right? And then the pandemic hit, and I started to get curious. With the gender inversion thing, I've heard since March, oh, Katy Perry is actually born male. Miley Cyrus is actually a man. Lady Gaga is actually a man. I ignore all those things. That's bullshit. Just like you. Trust me, I know all the stages. I know. Just been there, done that. So I said, I don't think so. That is like just bullshit, conspiracy theory. I don't think Lady Gaga is a man. Then I heard it some other time from some other people. I heard it again. So, but after 3, 4, 5 times, I begin to get curious. And I begin to look. I begin to search, right? And then you end up with this sort of transvestigation on YouTube. At first, of course, as well, at first you always start modest. At first you think, yeah, maybe just Lady Gaga. Yeah, maybe just Naomi Campbell. Yeah, maybe just Julia Roberts. Yeah, maybe just Charlize Theron. And then little by little, gradually, you begin to realize that's actually, it is common practice across the board. Because if it's true for one, likelihood is it's true for all, right? The cult has been doing this culturally, traditionally, religiously for hundreds and thousands of years. So they're not just gonna pick and choose. Do you know what I'm saying? There is a pattern in there. There is a pattern because it has to fit their satanic agenda. What is the satanic agenda? Satanic agenda is basically the subjugation of the humankind through deception. That three things, that trinity of problem, response, problems, reaction, and solution. I'll give you an example. They will create a problem. For example, the problem is COVID. They start making this news. Oh, there is an outbreak, a flu virus from China, right? So, and they create fear. So, and to enhance the fear, they start telling, we need the lockdown. We need you to wear masks. We need you to be vaccinated. Or the reaction will be, people will get very scared because you're being told this virus is so deadly, so you better stay home. People getting very, very restless and very fearful, right? So they come up with solutions to those problems. What is the solution to those problems? Here, vaccine for you, sweetheart. Trust us, the government. Trust us, your parents, your nanny. We will take care of you. So you can stay home, be safe at home, and we will pay for your groceries during lockdowns. And you have to wear the mask. And then more solutions are being introduced gradually, which means that your rights are being taken away gradually. At first, it's just 2 weeks, sweetheart. It's just to flatten the curve, sweetheart. Just 2 weeks. and 2 weeks becomes 2 months, and 2 months becomes 4 months, and now it's already almost 6 months, right? At first, oh, you don't need masks, and now you need masks all over. Now it's being enforced, and now we are being told this is a new normal. That is the solution, right? And another example, oh, look, there is brutality by police to a colored person. That is the problem, right? So they create this narrative. Police brutality against certain ethnicity. That is the narrative. Even though the facts, the statistics don't really speak in support of this narrative. It doesn't matter though, because they own the news broadcast. They own the media. So they can just say it, even though it's not true. And as we have seen, none of the news that they have told us is really that true. Most of them are fabricated and total lies, right? So we have this problem. We have racism problem in this country. We have white privilege problem. That's a narrative of the left, right? They're so obsessed about it. So police brutality, and then the reaction. What is the reaction? The reaction, of course, rioting. Because we need to rise up against these injustices, against this police brutality. Defund the police. So riots everywhere. And then they come with a solution as well. Not just the problems, not just the reaction, but also the solution. The solution is you need more government. Let's defund the police. That is a solution. Let's defund the police and have just neighborhood security guards or something like that. And we will take care of your needs. So we will take away your guns so you can just be like, which is a fucking contradiction in a way. So you want to take these people's guns, but you also want to defund the police. So basically, the police can no longer protect you and you have to protect yourself, but you can either because you have no arms. You have no weapons, right? So now the solution will be more rules, more regulations, more obedience to the government to keep you safe from harm. Basically, to keep you safe from the very people who are trying to protect you, because they're the mob, they're the mafia. That is why people pay fees to the mob, right? For their security. Security from who? From the mob itself. This is the kind of life existence that we have lived for as long as we live as a human race. And it's ending. It's ending. It's changing. We are revolutionizing the way we live our lives, the way we have our governments, the way we have our political system, economic system, in every way. And it's the time, ladies, to rejoice, because the best is yet to come. It really is. It really is. So even though so many of us are suffering right now, and as I said earlier, I am also suffering. A lot of nights I will just be so like awake and feeling very drained, very exhausted, and very depressed. And Joe knows it. Like he doesn't like it when I'm in that mood. But and then I tell him, how can I not feel this way? How can I not feel concerned? You know, I'm so deeply sad that we have to go through this. But we have to go through this because to build anew, we need to destroy the existing structure in a way. This is why we need the pandemic and all the rioting and all this craziness that we are going through right now for global reset. So we're gonna build anew from these rubbles of corruption and extreme monstrosity of crimes against humanity, crimes against our children. Okay, so hang in there, ladies and gentlemen. It's only 2 more months. It's only 2 more months. What you can do is to help wake up your friends and neighbors and family members who are still in slumber, even though we're losing our mind over their stubbornness, right? And you see me, I get really pissed off with these people too. Like, I don't have the patience. I don't have it in me anymore to want to be nice and polite and be politically correct with these people. So I'm just, you know, sort of raising my gun heads on. I'm just like, because I do believe, as someone who is in touch with human nature, and in my work, I need to understand human nature to be successful at it. And I'm pretty successful at it. I'm actually very successful at it. So I know there is a time in which you need to be very firm with these sleeping masses, with these sheeple. You cannot be nice with them anymore and make them want to wake up. That's not how it works. It's just like when I'm harsh with some of you because you are still in on that narcissistic level, right? You always want to blame everything on other people. You want to blame your relationship failure on your partner, on your EUM, on your husbands, and you refuse to see your contribution to it. It's the same thing with what's happening with us as a citizen of the world, as a citizen of a country. We also tend to blame things on other people, on the government, on history from some hundreds or 2,000 years ago. I was born this way because my ancestors did this, my ancestors were abused, this, that. So there's always somebody else's problem. And if you trying to coddle these people, meaning just try to be nice with them so they don't get offended, so their feelings are being taken care of, right? You're not gonna ever teach them anything. You will just coddle them and enable their codependent traits, their codependent predispositions, because they're codependent people. This is the kind of people who get into abusive relationships and don't realize that they contribute to the abuses as well, not just the problem of the perpetrators. And yes, being nice with them at some point, it's important. But after a certain point, niceness won't change them. Niceness will only coddle them and keep them in their victimhood mentality, victimhood realm. You understand what I'm saying? So this is, I'm doing my role. A lot of times I get really feisty with these people because I know what I'm doing. If you're not being waken up by me being feisty with you, nothing will. So you might as well just leave and go back to your basement and sleep tight. We will wake you up, or we may not wake you up when danger happens. So then that will be just survival of the fittest, because you're pretty unevolved anyway. You're probably unfit to live among people who are ready for the painful truth about life. Sometimes in life we cannot save everyone. Okay, this is why we leave them alone to walk the path, to traverse their own journey, because everyone is on a journey. We can only help, only so much we can help. But at some point, you know, some people are just not ready, and in a way, it's nobody's fault, right? It's not your fault not being able to inspire them to wake up. And at the end of the day, probably is not their fault either, not being able to transcend their limitations, because pretty much people are don't really choose the level of consciousness that they are on, right? You don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I was still so naive, so stupid, I thought I knew everything. And there's nothing that what people said at that time could change me or could make me see the light. Nothing. It's only life journey brought me there, took me there. I had to hit rock bottom like everyone else to wake up. So same in this situation, some people just have to hit rock bottom to wake up. I hope it's not one of you in this class today. I hope everyone here today have some, at least some basic understanding, basic level understanding of what's going on in the world. But what is really like upsetting to me is the so-called people who are supposedly more advanced in their journey, like spiritual teachers, gurus, mentors, motivational speakers, coaches, relationship coaches, dating coaches, or just life coaches, who are still actually like supporting the far left, the radical leftist narratives. I'm just like, oh my fucking god! Like, how can you help your clients when you cannot help? You can't even help yourself. You don't even know right from wrong. You're not even intelligent enough to want to know the truth. How can you help your clients? How can anyone? So I'm very harsh with these people because it's about time for us, all of us, to confront these sort of so-called thought leaders and influencers. What kind of influencers are you? Still supporting a bunch of satanic pedophiles, you know, amid the overwhelming evidence that says cult does exist and has existed for eons. And this cult has been proven to abduct, to rape, to torture, and kill children for their blood, organ, and flesh. Even the Queen of England has been indicted by the court in Belgium for the 10 native children who went missing in the 60s when she came to visit Canada. So she invited these 10 children from the school to join her on a day trip or a picnic or something, and they never returned. 10 children disappeared after the British royal family took them for a day trip and never heard of them ever again. So, and I think, I don't know how long ago, but the Queen has been indicted and found guilty of being responsible for the disappearance of these 10 children. But of course, because she is so powerful, right? She basically can tell the British court to suppress this information and just to freeze it. But the court, the judges, have already uh, decided that she's guilty. She's guilty. So what more proof do you extreme leftists need to understand this is not a conspiracy theory? It's a conspiracy fact. It's all conspiracy facts. It's the truth. I know it's painful to open your eyes, but it's very important for your sanity and to your mental health as well to face the truth, no matter how painful it is. And remember, I was always talking so highly about the Queen. I love the Queen, like I love Hillary Clinton. I never had any inclination to believe that these people were monsters, that these people were eating human flesh and stuff like that, that these people love to have royal hunting parties. Nobody would think that. I was a royalist, meaning I was fully supportive of the British royal family, the Queen. But I had also come to the realization that I didn't know what I didn't know. I was ignorant. I was naive. I was duped like everyone else. At first, it was very difficult to accept that. I said, it can be true. It can be true. But the more you hear it, like after 5 times you hear it, you begin to become curious. This is why it's so important for you to repeat the same message over and over and over and over, because these people need it to be repeated. It's the same strategy the mainstream media does with you. They repeat the same fake news over and over and over, so it becomes the truth to you, isn't it? It doesn't it? So one time they say, oh, Trump is racist. At first you didn't believe it. Second time you heard it, you dismiss it. The third time you heard it, you dismiss it. Fourth time, 5 times, 6 times, 150 times. Eventually you just accept it as fact that he is a racist motherfucker. Right? Pardon my English. Oh, no, not English. Pardon my French. So practice the same principle. You have to repeat this over and over about the satanic pedophiles, because the brainwashed leftists, they needed repeated at least 156 times to come to the conclusion that it might be some truth in it, because they're not that smart, they're not that bright, right? Let's face it. Those of you who are still asleep at this hour, at this point, you are not that bright. Well, it is what it is. At some point in my life, I was also not that bright, even though I thought I was the brightest thing in the room, or I was the sharpest tool in the drawer. That's what I thought, but I wasn't. Ladies, eventually, I mean, at least we got the glimpse uh, of the moon. It's pretty small though, right? Anyway, I'm at 11% with my battery right now. So I think I'm just gonna call it a day. And I'll see you again soon. And I want to talk about Nasara and Jisara in depth. And Hania have a question here. How can we be in our feminine energy at this time? Or how can feminine energy help at this time? Well, feminine energy basically helps you surrender, helps you sort of calm yourself down. But at this time, a little bit of masculine energy is good too. I'm using up my masculine energy this time because my country needs me, my people need me. We need masculine warriors around us. We need the masculine man to lead us, right? Lucky we have a very masculine leadership in the White House that leads and protects us. So it's a great time for all feminine women also to tap into their masculine energy and become goddess warriors. Okay? Being feminine doesn't preclude you to become a goddess warrior when you are needed, when your service to humanity is needed. So that's what I'm doing, to the anger of so many of you. But it's okay. It's okay. You know what will set you free. You know what will keep you safe and will save you. It's the truth, because the truth will shine on its own, in its own independent power. So my tool is the truth. I have the truth with me. So I'm not scared and I'm not discouraged, because I know the truth will prevail. Only the truth will prevail eventually. Okay? The truth can stand on its own 2 feet, so to speak, on its own merit. Okay, 9% left now. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a kind and loyal supporter. I really appreciate you all. I don't take you for granted. I love you all. And I wish the best to all of us. And as I say, the best is yet to come. Welcome to the golden age of 2021 and beyond. I'll talk to you again soon. Hopefully, it doesn't take another month and a half for me to show up. Bye bye.